Hi, Coach Zora Stevenson,
Hi.
NBC Sports. Your resume speaks for itself. You have decades of experience and all the accolades, but I don't think any of us have ever had to manage our jobs in a pandemic until now. How has the past NBA season and the experience in the bubble kind of given you the necessary tools to handle players in and out of protocol at the same time that important basketball is underway?
Well, you know very well what everybody's been through. So I guess we could say we've got a lot of practice for sure. But our goal overall is we're trying to get everybody safely to Tokyo, and at the same time prepare a basketball team to be successful. So we're vigilant about what we do, where we go, wearing masks as much as we can when we're going to be around public people, in the hotel, that sort of thing. It's all we can do is just be as vigilant and careful as we possibly can to give everybody the best chance to get there safely. It's as simple as that. There's nothing else we can do, under the circumstances. There's no magic pill or anything like that. We just, try to help each other understand how important it is and how careful we have to be. So it does feel a bit like a bubble for sure, but so be it.
Next up is Brian Mahoney, and then we'll go to Mark Narducci.
Hey, Coach. How's Bradley doing? And, I know this all isn't over, but was there a part of you who kind of hoped that after everything you went through during the season, that this was, behind us at least, that you could, we'd get through these few weeks okay?
Well, as far as Bradley's concerned, I'm dying for him. We all are. Since he's a little kid, this has been a dream of his, and he was playing great. He was having fun, being a big part of us coming together chemistry-wise and as a family. And so for him and for his family, immediate family, it's devastating. So we just feel horrible about it.
Next up is Mark Narducci, then we'll go to Joe Barton.
Greg, has there been any determination on Bradley, whether he'll be able to play? And also, is there any update on Jason Tatum?
Well, I was told that Bradley will be, ineligible to participate in the Olympics. I think it's already come out, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's public information.
Okay, and Jason Tatum, any update on him?
Yeah, he practiced today. He had a full practice, and he's actually down on the court with Coach Udoka right now, getting some extra work in.
Next up is Joe Barton, and then we'll go to Ed Jabalinsky.
Hey, Coach. I'm talking about replacing Brad on the roster. I mean, there's a number of smaller questions within there. How much you're involved in that, when you need a guy to be in camp realistically. And then you've been talking so much about getting these guys that you had already in shape. So how much of a factor will that be when you pick a replacement? Is it somebody who's already been kind of working out on his own, just given there's really no time now that in the
Yeah, it's a great question. We said there are a million other little questions in there.
Yeah.
One of the major considerations in picking somebody is that most of these guys, it's gone so late. Season ends, for a lot of people in May, and they shut down for a while and then come back to to the USA camp. But this year, the problem is picking somebody. We have to make sure that somebody's in shape because we don't really have time. Once we get there, with just a couple of practices to get them in shape. So that's a consideration. It's tough to just walk in here and be able to do this. And for the last week, we've been working on how we want to play, at both ends of the court. So somebody's coming in kind of blind, and if they're out of shape, you're not sure how much that can help. So it's going to take a certain individual that we think can pick it all up quickly. We're trying to do less is more. We can't get super complicated, but also somebody who's going to be in pretty good condition. So, we're going through names just probably like all you guys in the media are, and trying to decide what we think would fit. Some people may not be ready to come. Some people may not be interested. Some people may be in rehab. Some people might be free agents. There's all kinds of reasons. So we're going to have to pretty quickly here find someone we think will fit with all those sort of mini questions having to be answered.
Thank you.
Well,
Up next is Ed Jabolinski and then Chris Cruz.
Hi, Coach. Edson Sablonskis from Basket News. My first part of the question is pretty similar. Ideally, if you have that player in shape, what kind of qualities you're looking? Is it more of playmaking, or is it shooting, or anything else? And second part of the question, is it possible that Jeremy Grant will also miss the Olympics since he's in health and safety protocols as well? Thank you.
what did you say about Jeremy?
Is it possible that he will also miss the Olympics since he's in health and safety protocols?
I don't think that's in the cards, and I certainly hope that doesn't happen. But we're just following the protocols that we're told. But that's not something that we've been thinking about as a possibility. The protocols that are set, must be followed, and we did that today with Jeremy. But and one of the reasons is to follow those closely, because our primary job, besides trying to be successful as a team, is to get there safely for all these young men. We want to do everything we can to make sure that's possible. So on the other point, I don't think that we're going to be able to say, we want a point guard, or we want a shooter, or we want a big man. We want a basketball player, somebody that will be able to go out on the court and help us win and be a good teammate.
Thank you. We'll go to Chris Cruz next, and then David Cittadinato.
Hey, Coach. Given how big of a role Beal was supposed to play for the team, will finding someone play in that similar role factor into the decision of who comes, or is it just too early to tell at this point?
I don't think that we can replace point by point what Bradley did for us. I mean, all the players are different. We have other fine players on the team that that will have to fill in. But as I said, we want to have somebody who, when they come in the game, can keep the momentum, make us a better team, and be a good teammate. So, Bradley is, there's no doubt he's a huge loss. He was playing very well, understanding everything, and fit in well with the group. So, there's no next Bradley Beal, just like there's no next Damian Lillard or next KD. I mean, all these guys are different. So, maybe a utility infielder of some sort.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
We'll finish up with the final two questions. David, you're up next, and then Christos Tostakis.
Hi, Coach. Davide Chinellato here from Gazzetta in Italy. I have a broader question for you. You spoke a lot about how much you need to respect your opponents and how much these teams you're playing are not just putting up together, but are, you know, countries that care a lot about their country and winning. You've been following FIBA basketball for a lot of time, and you know that when these countries used to play with Team USA, most of the times they just, you know, were happy to play with you guys. When do you think their attitude is shifted to we can beat Team USA instead of just playing with them?
Well, you know, I mean, even back in 2000, there was a close game, if you remember. But you know, the losses after that in 02 and 04 and 06, you know, that made it pretty obvious that there were wonderful players all over the world, and more than that, really fine teams, you know, talented players that had played together for a long time. And, you know, of course, it would be a dream for them to beat the USA team. So that's a lot of motivation. You know, it's pride for their country, just like it's pride for us to win a gold medal. The other teams feel the same way. They want to win a gold medal. And with those losses, they realized that they were getting pretty darn good. So there are excellent coaches all over the world. Every year, more NBA talented players are playing for teams around the world. And when they get together, in effect, they become superheroes because they're playing for their country, and it's, you know, way more important than on your individual teams. And, you know, we feel the same way. We're not going to have the opportunity to play together for the amount of time or years that other teams have, but that's just the way it is. So you don't think about it, and you do the best job you can. And the United States has done a fine job once they realized that the attitude had to change. There couldn't be a hubris about, you know, America just go play and you're going to win. And so when Mr. Colangelo and Sean Ford took this over and hired Coach K, you know, it was a totally different attitude, from selection of players to making it important, to developing continuity and becoming successful again.